Hello everybody, my name is Ray Kruse, Food Systems Program Coordinator and Master Gardener Coordinator right here at the ISU Extension and Outreach Office of Dubuque County. And today we're going to do a small little at-home activity that you can do to examine how different seeds emerge in the garden. And you might be like, well, Ray, why does this make any difference to me as to how my seeds are emerging? Well, different seeds are more susceptible to damage when they freshly emerge out of the soil than others. And by knowing that, it can help you in making decisions as to whether you should replant or not if damage has occurred, or when you're trying to target some of those weeds, what you're actually trying to get in order to get that weed out of your garden. So let's get started. So if you're doing this activity as part of a library activity, you will get a small kit that looks like this. And what you'll find is 3 sample cups that are about 2 ounces in size. You will also have a small little baggie of potting mix to fill those little cups of soil, or little sample cups. And you'll also find some seeds of peas, beans, and corn sandwiched between some of those cups. Now, in starting this activity, what we will do is we will take a push pin or something sharp and poke some holes in the bottom of these little sample cups for drainage. So I'm going to put about 3 holes in the bottom of each individual cup. And in doing that, like I said, what we're aiming to do is give these little cups some drainage so that our seeds don't rot while they're trying to emerge out of the soil. Now that we've done that, what we're going to do is we're going to take some of our potting mix here and we're going to fill our little sample cup here about 2/3 full of potting mix. And then what we'll do is you should have 6 seeds each of corn, beans, and peas. And so what we'll do is we'll take, for example, I'll use the peas here, and I'm going to put those 6 peas around the perimeter of our sample cup here to plant them. So we'll just take our 6 little pea seeds here, drop them around the side here, and we're planting 6 just to make sure that we have enough that are going to sprout out of this activity. And then what we're going to do is we're going to nicely tamp them down just a little bit inside that cup there, and we're going to finish filling that cup all the way up with some potting mix. Tamp that level at the top there. And there you have it. We have some freshly planted pea seeds. And then after that, what we're going to do is we're going to give them just a little bit of water. We're going to soak this little cup thoroughly through with some moisture. Then what we're going to do is we're going to set this little cup in a sunny window for about 9 days. We're going to repeat this process for our corn as well as our beans, and we're going to set them all together in that same window, and after 9 days, we'll revisit this activity. It has been 9 days since we planted our little seeds in their little cups in the window, and now we are starting to see some life, and we're going to look at what is going on here. So here we have our little bean seeds, and what you can see is some sprouts coming up out of the ground, and they're pulling up a portion of the seed that we had actually put way down in the ground. And so you can see this here, and they start to split, and they start to make little leaves at the top. Between those, what we call cotyledons. So those cotyledons are going to split apart. That was what was part of the seed, and we're going to start to see leaves. Now, over here, we have our corn seeds. And what our corn seeds are doing is we still have this seed way down deep in the ground, but we're starting to see these little whorls, that we call them, poking up out of the ground with little leaves that are starting to form. This here is called Hypogeal Emergence. Over here, what we're looking at is Epideal Emergence. And what we're going to do between these 2 cups here is we're going to shave off half of these plants level with the soil surface. So I'm going to go over here and just take my corn seeds and nip off half of those and nip off half of my bean seeds. So I've only got 3, so I'm only going to nip off 1 of those bean seeds. Well, you know, I'm going to nip off 2. So there, we nipped off 2 of our bean seeds there and half of our corn seeds. We're going to set these in the window in our house, our sunny window, and we're going to observe what's going to happen. And once we let this sit for about, I don't know, 5 to another 9 days, what you'll notice is some of the corn that we nipped off here will start to grow back. It actually all will grow back because we didn't actually kill the corn. There's still a portion of the corn down deep in the soil. It's still going to continue to push out little leaves and continue to grow. It will be stunted compared to our other corn seeds that we didn't chop off. Over here, what we'll see is the little bean seeds that we had actually chopped off, they're just going to die. And the 1 bean seed that we did leave standing, or the couple that we might have in our cup, they're going to continue to thrive. And this is, like I said, Epigeal Emergence, and this is Hypogeal Emergence. And you might be like, well, Ray, that's fine. We understand the 2 terms. Why is this important to me? Well, this can help us in, well, some specific examples in our garden and making some decisions. So let's imagine a rabbit came through our garden and chewed off our corn seeds, our corn sprouts level with the soil. Well, being that we're looking at some hypogeal emergence, we can expect that our corn is going to still reemerge out of the ground. It might be a little stunted, but we still got corn down there. Now, if we were to imagine that rabbit coming over to our bean seeds in the garden and chewing them off level with the soil surface and say maybe cut off 75% of our beans in the garden, well, we know that we no longer have 75% of those beans left. And that's the unfortunate thing about it, and that's what epigeal emergence is as opposed to hypogeal emergence. And I kind of keep them straight because epigeal emergence is kind of an epic deal if something happens to that little sprout. Now, if we look over here at our peas, you might be wondering, well, what's the difference? Why do we do peas? Well, peas are a very interesting example of an exception to this rule. They are a broadleaf plant, just like our beans are, but they display the hypogeal emergence that our corn has. So, but at the same time, being that we have this specific hypogeal emergence, if we were to cut our pea seeds off level with the surface, they may come back because they still have some little growing points close to the soil surface if you were to look down and into the soil there in your cup, but the chances of these coming back aren't quite as high as what our corn would be. So they're kind of like a middle of the road exception. But that's why we provided these peas here, because there are some exceptions to the rule, but we can make some generalizations, that we're seeing here between the corn and the beans. And this also would apply to some of the weeds in the garden too. If we have some weeds that are exhibiting epigeal emergence, we know that we shave them off level with the soil surface using our hoe, that we're probably going to kill them right off the bat. But if we have some grasses growing in the garden that are exhibiting some hypogeal emergence, well, you know what? We might have to do a little bit more digging beneath the soil surface to get rid of those weeds. So I hope you learned a little bit today about the emergence difference of some of our seeds in the garden. This is Ray Kruse, Food Systems Program Coordinator and Master Gardener Coordinator right here at the ICU Extension Outreach Office of Dubuque County. Happy growing, everybody.